Sprigatito may be an adorable kitten, but as far as stats go, it is a terrible Pokemon. So I wondered, is it possible to beat all of Pokemon Violet using only this one little cat? And what if I made the game even harder by banning the use of any items in battle? Well, I tried, and it was painful. Here's how it went. To start, I call myself John. We leave the house and, oh my god, there's a cat in the bin! Who would do such a terrible thing? Anyway, now we had our Sprigatito. It may not breathe fire like Fuecoco or have the luscious locks of Quaxley, but by god, this little guy is adorable. I give our new cat a very fitting name, Garfield. Likes lasagna and copious amounts of catnip, hates Mondays. Very relatable. Would my Garfield become a powerful beast, or would we be crushed like a bug? Only time will tell. This challenge is going to be absurdly difficult, because besides being weak, Sprigatito is also a pure grass type. Defensively, grass is weak to 5 types, and offensively, we're weak against 7 types. And to make things worse, Pokemon Violet has boss fights for all of these weaknesses. Here, I'll teach you how to catch Pokemon. No thanks, I've got all I need right here. Naturally, we breezed through the first few battles with our Sprigatito. However, we were about to face a huge hurdle. But before that, we reach Misagosa, where I pick up a fresh new phone case, and change my look to be a little bit more in sync with our weed cat. Soon after, we reach the school, and more importantly, the cafeteria. Yeah, I'm gonna need about 8 tubs of lasagna to feed my Garfield. Now we're finally free to explore. There's a lot of cool Pokemon here, but I can't catch any of them. So instead, I take my cat and we head for the first gym. This is where the problems begin, because this gym uses bug types, one of our many weaknesses. After my tiny grass trainer brain struggled to get this olive in the basket, we were clear to take on Katie. All I could really do was spam my strongest move, Bite. While 3 bites from my little kitten were enough to take out Nimble, I took huge damage from super effective struggle bugs in the process. This meant that Sprigatito was on the brink of death as Katie sent in her Tarantula. Although Sprigatito kinda clutched up here, as Bite got 2 lucky flinches, meaning we actually took Tarantula down. However, once Katie sent out her bug-type bear, we didn't stand a chance, and sadly, Garfield perished. It's only the first gym, and we'd already gotten crushed. Good start. We got really lucky with the flinches there and still lost. So how do we beat these bugs? Well, out of Sprigatito's moveset, it only has one that's good against bugs, Acrobatics. But the TM is all the way over here. So to the Garfield copter. After a trek that was way longer than it had any right to be, I finally found the TM. This move is insane. It has a base power of 55, but that doubles if you aren't holding an item. So with my upgraded kitty, I once again stepped up to Katie. This time, it only took a single acrobatics to clean up both her Nimble and Tarantula. But Teddiursa is the real problem, because it actually survives an acrobatics before firing off a big super effective Fury Cutter, and Sprigatito just survives on 3 HP. This lets us land 1 more acrobatics for the KO. That was close, but Garfield clutched up, and now we had badge 1. That was brutal, but luckily, our next boss is Clorf. It's a giant rocky crab, so Sprigatito can spam its grass moves for a very easy win. After the win, our cat tried to evolve, but don't even think about it. You'll be staying as an adorable little kitten for the entire challenge. Arvin and I collect a Herba Mystica, and this made me think, since Sprigatito is just a grass cat, would it be cannibalism if it ate one of these dank Herba Mystica? We give Miraidon our sandwich, since Garfield and I are on a strict lasagna-only diet. Now Miraidon can travel even faster, but couldn't you have done that like 5 minutes ago? Oh, what a cute little phone case. Which I was only able to buy with the help of the sponsor of this video, Bai. Japan gets all the coolest stuff when it comes to Pokemon merch. And if, like me, you live in another part of the world, it can be impossible to get these exclusive items. Until now. With Bai, you can easily buy anything from Japan. Their interface helps you browse listings from a bunch of sites like Yahoo Japan, Mercari, and Amazon. Bai then buys the product on your behalf and will ship it internationally to you. There is so much cool stuff here that you probably won't be able to find anywhere else. Just take a look on Bai and see what cool stuff you can find. For example, I found these awesome Team Rocket figures, as well as this cool Ash Ketchum figure. And to sweeten the deal, Buyee is giving my audience a discount of 2,000 yen off of your first purchase. That's equal to $15 or like 0.25 Pokemon Scarlets for free. To claim the discount, all you need to do is sign up using the link in the description. So claim your free discount right now and go and buy something cool with Buyee. Soon after, we made it to Artisan Town, the location of our next gym. Oh god, they're trying to mug me! Help! I respect Brassius's game. He only uses grass Pokemon just like me. However, there's only room for one dominant grass trainer in Paldea, so I'm about to end this man's whole career. Just like Katie, Brassius's grass types are weak to flying, so a few acrobatics can instantly rip apart his first two Pokemon. His Sudowoodo does survive a bit longer, however, the result is the exact same, giving us a clean win on our first attempt. After how that first gym went, it just feels nice to get some quick wins. After the battle, we meet Hassel the art teacher. Hey, why do you smell like Herba Mystica? No reason, kid. I'm gonna go get some food, man. Our next fight is way harder though, since we've got to take on this boulder-dropping bird, the second Titan, Bombardier. It's a big, powerful flying type, and I'm a grass type. Naturally, I got crushed immediately by a super effective pluck. But look, I was really underleveled for that fight, so surely I'll be fine if I just come back with a few extra levels. Oh. Never mind then. Yet another L. Clearly, we weren't ready to take on Bombardier just yet. But since Pokemon Violet is open world, I'll come back to deal with that problem later. Instead, I decided to attempt my very first Team Star raid. Except, you can't attempt a raid unless you have at least 3 Pokemon in your party. Well, there you go. You can't beat Pokemon Violet with only a Sprigatito. Case closed. Except, there is a way to get around this. The Team Star raids are split into 2 parts. The Star Barrage battles, and then the actual boss fight. I don't really care about the Star Barrage battles, but that's the part that we need 3 Pokemon for. So, my plan is to go and catch 3 random Pokemon and have them do the Barrage battles before subbing in Sprigatito for the true final boss. It's not a perfect solo run, but it's the best I can do. So, Garfield and I stepped up to face our first Team Star boss, Giacomo. I didn't know it at the time, but Giacomo is the devil. To prepare for his dark types, I taught Sprigatito the move U-turn. However, Giacomo leads with Pawniard, who isn't weak to bug. On top of that, it also knows Aerial Ace. As a result, I barely scratched it before Sprigatito is crushed within a few turns. This run was turning into a disaster. Not only did we get destroyed by that Titan, but we can't even beat Giacomo's first Pokemon. Garfield just never stood a chance. We needed more firepower, so after getting a few more levels on Sprigatito, I returned to Giacomo with a new strategy. This time, I have Sprigatito Terastallize. This, combined with the Miracle Seed that I'm holding, means that my grass moves are insanely powerful. Even with Pawniard resisting grass, we still take it out in 2 turns. I was feeling much better about our chances until... Turns out that this Starmobile carries Intimidate, nerfing Sprigatito's attack. On top of that, this thing has a huge HP bar, so we're barely doing any damage to it. Within a few turns, once again, we had failed miserably. By this point, I'd had enough. It was time to tap into all of my chakras and access the highest brain power possible to take out this stupid car. I spent the next hour traveling across the map, hunting down a variety of moves and items before returning to Giacomo with a new plan. I want to weaken this Pawniard with Charm, but it has the Defiant ability. This means it'll get a huge attack boost if I try to lower its stats. But I plan to get around that by first using Worry Seed, which changes the target's ability to Insomnia. That also happens to be my ability in real life too. Anyway, then we can begin using Charm, nerfing Pawniard's attack to -6, while my leftovers give me some small recovery. I can then start using Hone Claws to boost my attack. Problem is, I've taken so much damage in the process, and once the Starmobile comes in, I immediately get crushed. Another failed plan. After more adventuring, I found an Adamant Mint, which I can use to change Sprigatito's nature from hasty to adamant. Not only will this increase my attack, but it also gives me better defense to help survive Giacomo's physical attacks. With my upgraded stats, I then returned to try my strategy again, but was crit by Pawniard, and the result ended up the same. This is so tough. Obviously, I could just grind to level 100 and sweep. However, you know me, and I'm a sucker for pain. So I decided that I would find a way to overcome Giacomo without taking Garfield past past level 30. And this was a terrible idea. I tried so many different strategies, but time after time, I just kept getting crushed. Until, on turn 1, I used Hone Claws to boost my attack by 1 stage. We eat a big aerial ace. However, my boost means that once I Terrastalize, a high roll Seed Bomb can finish Pawniard in 1 shot. Crucially, the Starmobile uses Metal Sound, but misses. This gives me an opening, as I can land a huge Seed Bomb. After tanking a Wicked Talk on the next turn, I land another one. I know I can tank 1 more hit, and I just need 1 more Seed Bomb. This was my moment of triumph where... Are you kidding me? I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Ladies and gentlemen, I was at DEFCON 1. I was down bad, and I'd already spent hours on this fight. I had to watch Sprigatito get crushed over and over again. But I still believed in our Garfield. With that, I had 1 more pro gamer move up my sleeve. Turn 1, I set up Grassy Terrain as we take a full force aerial ace. The Grassy Terrain and leftovers that I'm holding each give me some passive recovery. Then by using Protect, I stall for a turn and get even more recovery for free. By alternating between Hone Claws and Protect, I'm able to boost Sprigatito's attack to +2. After setting up a second Grassy Terrain, it was time for Sprigatito to unleash with a single Seed Bomb crushing Pawniard. Now Giacomo was down to his demonic Revivroom. I'm hit with a Wicked Talk that leaves Garfield on only 19 HP. However, this is perfect. This activates my Overgrow ability, giving me a 50% boost to grass moves. On top of that, Grassy Terrain also boosts my grass moves by 50%. Combine this with Terrastalizing, as well as my boosted attack, and it means that my Seed Bomb, which usually has a power of 80, effectively now has a power of 540. Sprigatito charged up the biggest Seed Bomb of its life, and... absolutely obliterated the Starmobile in just 1 shot. We finally got the win after an eternity. That was ridiculously challenging, but I think our Garfield has earned a reward. 1 like equals 1 head scratch for Sprigatito. Giacomo gives a little monologue about being bullied, and honestly, I don't care. You're no better since you just bullied me for the last 3 hours. I'm glad that Team Star Boss is done. Surely the next one won't be so bad for our grass cat. Oh dear God, I'm not worried about that at all. Anyway, that's a problem for later. For now, I was on my Paldean revenge tour after being spat on by Giacomo. Our first stop is a rematch with the Flying Titan. This time, it's much simpler. I can nerf its attack into the ground with Charm, while Leftovers keeps me healthy. Once it's at -6, we can set up Grassy Terrain for the extra boost before slaying the Titan with 2 Seed Bombs. Sweet, sweet revenge, baby. We also learn that Arven's dog is unwell, and I can relate to what he's going through. My Garfield is pretty unwell after being slapped around by Giacomo all day. Anyway, Sprigatito's reign of terror wasn't done just yet, because next, I decided to take on the Cascarapha Gym. And look, I like Kofu and his brow, but respectfully, I'm about to cook this man. He uses water types and opens with Veluza. It hits me with a pluck, which does huge damage. However, I respond with a Trailblaze. Since this move also raises my speed, now I'm faster, and after Terrastalizing, 1 more Trailblaze can finish it off. Thanks to those speed boosts, I'm faster than the incoming Wug Trio, so a quick Seed Bomb takes care of that. Last is Crabominable, who does survive a hit, however, it misses a slam. That clears us to land 1 more Seed Bomb, crushing Kofu and earning us a very smooth 3rd badge. And our momentum didn't slow down, as from here, I head straight over to Levincia to challenge Iono. We appear on her stream, and what could possibly get more views than a cute little cat? After sending her viral, we battle her electric types. This fight was really clean. After setting up Grassy Terrain, I was able to take out Wattrel with 2 Trailblazers, ensuring I outspeed all of Iono's Pokemon. We do eat an Intimidate from Luxio, however, an onslaught of boosted Seed Bombs can then gradually wrap up the rest of her team. With that, our cat had collected its 4th badge. Well, what does our challenger get for beating me? Please say catnip, please say catnip, please say catnip. A gym badge! Ah, damn it. Anyway, now I was bound for my next Titan Pokemon. And after the last one gave us a lot of trouble, I was really worried. Orthworm is a steel type with a huge defense stat, so it'll resist our grass moves really well. But I believed in our cat, so we stepped up to face the goofy goober Titan himself, Orthworm. To start, I used Charm 3 times to nerf Orthworm to -6, while Leftovers and Protect give me some HP recovery. But I'll need way more firepower against this girthy demon, so switch to Hone Claws to boost my own attack. However, by the time I get to +3, My HP is getting really low. I have no choice but to terastallize and start firing off seed bombs. The first doesn't do enough, but on the next turn, Orthworm knocks me into overgrow range, powering up my next seed bomb to slay the giant worm. After taking it out in the second phase, no problem, Arvin and I celebrate with some dank Herba Mystica. Since Giacomo, things had been going really smoothly. Except that was about to change, because we were about to face our toughest challenge yet, Mella. Remember how we struggled so much against the first team star boss? Well, Mella's fire types are even worse for us. Her Torkoal lead is Sprigatito's worst nightmare. It's a fire type that sets up the sun to boost its flame wheels even more. Even if you can stall out the sun and nerf Torkoal to -6 attack, it still has Clear Smog, a special poison move that also hits us for huge damage. And if all of that still isn't enough, Clear Smog also removes your stat boosts. So we can't even set up on Torkoal either. All of this means that Torkoal on its own is hard enough. However, keep in mind that Mella also has a huge fire-type Starmobile in the back. Honestly, I got slaughtered time after time without ever feeling like I got close. This left me in a tough spot. To beat Mella, I would probably need Sprigatito to be a really high level, but if I did that now, I would end up trivializing other parts of the game. So I decided to leave Mella for now and come back later on. For now, I tried to take on the next Titan, but was crushed immediately. I was down horrendously bad. I couldn't beat Team Star, and I couldn't beat the Titans. Our little Garfield was just too weak, and honestly, it started to feel like our little weed cat just didn't have it in him. But we pressed on, and I turned my attention towards the next gym in Medali. I want to take a ride on a Pokemon. Looks like you've already got your hands full at the moment there, brother. I'm gonna need an extra serving of lasagna. My Garfield isn't looking too good these days. After ordering the secret menu item, we're clear to immediately take on Larry, salaryman and victim of the system. But I've cooked up an evil strategy for his normal types. The only thing that can stop me is a critical hit. Okay, forget that attempt. Larry leads with Kamala, who knows 2 physical moves as well as Yawn. To counter this, I have Garfield immediately use Charm twice before I fall asleep thanks to Yawn. Sprigatito takes a nap for a few turns, but Kamala's body slams aren't doing too much now, and my leftovers give me some recovery. Once I finally wake up, one more Charm brings Kamala to -6 attack. Now I use a new move, Substitute. This helps me eat attacks while also making me temporarily immune to status moves like Yawn. I use this to my advantage, spending the next few turns spamming Hone Claws to max out my attack. Once at +6 with a fresh substitute, it's time for blood. I terastallize, and a single superpower seed bomb can crush Kamala, as well as the Dudunsparce that follows soon after. This leaves only Staraptor, the biggest threat on Larry's team since it also knows Aerial Ace. However, I've planned for this. My substitute not only nullifies the Intimidate, but it also eats the incoming Aerial Ace that would have otherwise killed me. This lets me safely fire off one more seed bomb, giving us the KO and a big-brained win over Larry. I was feeling pretty good about myself after that, so when Nimona asked to battle, I felt pretty confident until she flinched me 3 times in a row. She beat me before I even had the chance to attack. Just got outplayed, I guess. We don't actually have to win this battle, so whatever. However, this is a crucial checkpoint in the run, because now Gita gives us the TM for Terra Blast, and we now have the ability to change our Terra type by talking to this guy here. It does cost Terra Shards, but we can get those by farming 3-star raids or higher. This is huge for our challenge, as changing our Terra type gives us a ton of options, both offensively and defensively. For now though, we're hunting our next badge. Among the spooky snowscape of Montenevera, we find the next gym. This one uses ghost types, which is fine by me since it's a neutral matchup. However, it's actually an incredibly unfair matchup because this gym does double battles. But since I've only got Sprigatito, it means that I'll have to take on 2 Pokemon at the same time. My cat can barely handle 1v1s, so how would we manage in a 2v1? Although we do have a slight problem. The game forces me to use at least 2 Pokemon. My solution was to find a sacrificial lamb, or more specifically, a sacrificial pig. If I bring a Lechonk into battle, it'll just die instantly without having any real impact on the outcome. So just ignore that little piggy in my party. With that, I stepped up to Rhyme, ready to continue my dominance, but was crushed very quickly. Sprigatito's frail enough as it is, but taking attacks from 2 Pokemon at once is just way too much for Garfield to handle. If I wanted to take on 2 Pokemon at once, I needed a way to even the score. Then I had an idea. By using Mirror Herbs, we can teach our Sprigatito the move Petal Blizzard. Not only is this the strongest physical grass move we get, but Petal Blizzard also hits everyone else on the field. With my new move, as well as a choice scarf that we can buy from Misagoza, I stepped up to Rhyme for a rematch. Thanks to the choice scarf, I move first and immediately kill my own pig. Sorry buddy. Petal Blizzard breaks Mimikyu's disguise, while also hitting Burnett for decent damage. Problem is, Sprigatito is then put on the brink of death after tanking hits from both of Rhyme's Pokemon. While I am faster, they both have priority moves, so on the next turn, a Shadow Sneak finishes me off. I tried the same strategy again, but the end result was the exact same. But then I had an even better idea. This time, on turn 1, I immediately Terrastalize, but use Protect, because in this battle, the crowd can award stat boosts. Since I Terrastalized, I get a +1 boost to every stat at the end of the turn. This means that I'm bulkier, hit harder, and no longer need the Choice Scarf, meaning I can have Garfield hold the Miracle Seed. Combining all of this, on the next turn, I can fire off a Petal Blizzard which crushes Burnett in one shot while also breaking Mimikyu's disguise. This prevents me from taking an Icy Wind, and since I got a KO, the crowd gives me another stat boost to my offense. So, on the next turn, a huge Petal Blizzard can KO both of Rhyme's Pokemon instantly. This leaves only Toxtricity, but it doesn't stand a chance against my demonic, super-powered Garfield. With one more Petal Blizzard, we bust Rhyme's final Ghost, giving us our 6th badge. Honestly, I'm impressed that Sprigatito just soloed a 2v1 gym while barely being a higher level. You did good, Weedcat. That was a tough gym, but the next one is pretty straightforward. We have a neutral matchup to Tulip's Psychic types, and her Farigiraf is completely free to set up on. It's a physical attacker, so we can charm it into the dirt, then boost our own attack with Hone Claws. Once we're at +6, I Terrastalize and crush that long-necked loser with Trailblaze. The speed boost from Trailblaze is key, as this means I now outspeed all of Tulip's Pokemon. So, we're clear to bring out the broom and sweep her whole team into the trash. Our powerful Garfield claims another victim. Although the next gym uses Ice types, and quite frankly, that horrifies me. So, I turned my attention back to the previous bosses that had destroyed me. First up is Iron Treads, and this futuristic Donphan immediately one-shot me last time. This time, I survived long enough to land 2 attacks, but still got crushed. However, it was really close, so I came up with a plan. This time, I Terrastalize immediately. I tank a knockoff before using Trailblaze to give me a speed boost. From here, I keep using Charm until Iron Treads knocks me into Overgrow range. With this extra firepower, at this range, one more Petal Blizzard can finish off the Cyborg Donphan. Once Arvin and I enjoy some fresh Herba Mystica, now our futuristic motorcycle Pokemon can grow wings and fly. That is a sentence I never thought I would say. Next up on the revenge tour is Mella and the Antichrist itself, Torkoal. I was decimated in our last attempt, but now I'm at a much higher level. On my first attempt, of course, Torkoal hit the 10% chance to burn me, so that attempt was over immediately. The next one was much smoother. By combining Protect, Leftovers, Charm, and Grassy Terrain, we can comfortably stall out the harsh sunlight before Terrastalizing and taking Torkoal out with 2 boosted Petal Blizzards. With this method, we still have decent health when taking on Revavroom. I was luckily able to survive just long enough to land a second Petal Blizzard and just fell short. Sprigatito fell, and we'd once again lost to Mella. But it was really close, so I returned for another attempt and made it through Torkoal the same as last time. However, against the Starmobile, it uses Screech twice as I just push it to the brink of death. But Sprigatito's at -4 defense, and I'm so frail that a gust of wind could probably kill me. However, my cat clutches up, just surviving a Blazing Torque on 22 HP before one last Petal Blizzard finally destroys the Starmobile. Revenge has never tasted so sweet. Hey Garfield, after handling all that fire, how are you holding up? Oh, he's fine. Fresh as a daisy. Tell me, what do you think of Team Star? Honestly, they have made my life hell. I can't wait to crush every single one of them, and if I ever find their leader, I'm gonna spit in their face. Oh, I'm gonna go now. I put down my controller for a while, and when I came back, I found this. A shiny Litleo just waiting for me. You know my character loves cats. However, there's only room for one feline on this wild ride, and that's Garfield. So I did the honorable thing and put that sparkly imposter cat in its place. F's in the chat for yet another shiny that I had to put down. Now we were headed for the next Team Star raid, and I'm hoping it'll finally be a type I'm strong against. Oh, come on! I tried taking him on, but on my first attempt, I got hit by Toxic, which is basically just an instant loss. If I wanted to overcome this Toxic trainer, I was gonna have to bring some toxicity of my own. So I formed a plan that was straight evil. His Skuntank lead knows 3 moves: Toxic, Sucker Punch, and Venoshock. If we get hit by Toxic, we pretty much lose instantly. So my plan is to use Substitute. While this is up, I can't be hit by status moves. The problem, however, is that Venoshock hits for huge damage and breaks my sub in one shot. To get around this, I need to stall out Venoshock's 10 PP. It takes 1 Venoshock to break my sub, and I can then use Protect to stall out another. All the while, my leftovers are giving me small recovery each turn to help keep setting up substitutes. With this Toxic combination, we can stall out Skuntank's Venoshocks, meaning it has nothing that can break my substitute. Now I'm clear to max my attack with Hone Claws. Then I Terrastalize, and a single Petal Blizzard demolishes Skuntank, Muck, and the Revavroom that follows. Atticus was down to only his big Revavroom, but my substitute eats the incoming Noxious Torque before a Petal Blizzard just doesn't get the KO. Thankfully, we can tank 1 more on the next turn before a final Petal Blizzard crushes Atticus. A toxic strategy for a toxic, poisonous man. Next up, I sought out the final Titan, but this one was pretty straightforward. Dondozo is a water type, so we took care of its first 2 phases very quickly. The third phase against Tatsugiri was way more difficult since it knows Icy Wind. I lost a bunch of times, but eventually Garfield dodged an Icy Wind, which gave me an opening to slay the final Titan. Arvin and I enjoy one final pass of the Mystica, and Garfield's insane lasagna power has healed Mabastiff. What a certified good boy. The next day was Monday, so Garfield refused to work and we made no progress. However, on the next day, I took on Ortega of Team Star. I was expecting someone a little more beefed up. I don't know, Sprigatito's looking pretty buff these days. Ortega has a stacked roster of fairy types, and we don't have much of a level advantage. Despite that, with a little planning, we can make this fight completely free. Azumarill is a physical attacker, so we can nerf it with Charm. Annoyingly, it also knows Charm to nerf my cat. However, by including Taunt in our moveset, we can prevent any charming behavior. With Azumarill taunted and at -6 attack, we can safely max our attack with Hone Claws. From there, some powerful Terra-boosted Trailblazers allow our powerful Sprigatito to rip through Ortega's first 3 Pokemon. His Starmobile does survive an attack, but Garfield just hangs on before one last Trailblaze cleans up the win. John, it's finally time for your last gym, but I'm 0% worried about you. I know you got this. Well, that makes one of us because I'm terrified of this gym. Grush's ice types are another weakness of my grass cat. What makes him even worse is that he leads with Frostmoth. This demon was designed in a lab specifically to counter Sprigatito. It's an ice and bug type, as well as being a special attacker with powerful stab moves. Regardless, I tried my luck against Grusha and was instantly destroyed by Blizzard. With the situation looking bleak, I tested a bunch of different strategies, but quickly realized something important. Grusha's Frostmoth could use any of its 3 moves on the first turn, and if by chance it opted to use Blizzard, I would have a 30% chance for the move to miss. This one free turn could open up the entire battle. Now I had a plan, I just needed to get lucky. On turn 1, I outspeed and set up a Hone Claws for the attack boost. On this attempt, Frostmoth finally misses a Blizzard. Then on the next turn, thanks to my attack boost, a super effective Acrobatics can get the KO, even with Sprigatito holding the Miracle Seed. From here, the combination of my +1 attack, Terrastalizing, and the Miracle Seed means that Sprigatito can unleash on the rest of Grush's team, sweeping them into the trash with an onslaught of Petal Blizzards. That's Grusha defeated, and somehow, our one little cat had now defeated every Paldean gym while only being at level 61. But the celebration was short-lived because we had one more quest on the map, the final Team Star boss. Team Star has been, by far, the hardest part of this challenge. And now, we have to take on the final Team Star boss, Eri and her powerful fighting types. Honestly, I got destroyed by Eri over and over again while helplessly trying to figure out a strategy. Until I realized we only had one real option. By visiting this chef in Medali, we can change Sprigatito's Terra type to Psychic. That might not seem significant, but trust me, it changes everything. Now we were ready for Eri. Her Toxicroak lead is deadly since it knows Poison Jab, which can crush my Grass type. So, on turn 1, I Terra into a Psychic type while protecting to avoid any damage. Now that I'm a Psychic type, Toxicroak will spam super effective Sucker Punches. However, this fails if I don't use an attacking move. So, I spend the next 5 turns freely boosting my attack with Hone Claws. This drains all of Toxicroak's Sucker Punch PP, so now it's safe to attack. A Trailblaze doesn't kill, but it does give me a crucial speed boost. From here, here, our setup is complete, and Garfield had become an unstoppable demon. With a barrage of acrobatics, we quickly sweep through every single one of Eri's fighting types. The Starmobile falls in just one shot, finishing our final Team Star raid. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with any more giant cars. But the worst was yet to come. We were in the endgame now, and every fight would be against full teams of powerful Pokemon. The enemies were getting stronger, and our little Sprigatito is still the same weak cat that couldn't even beat the first gym. First up is our final showdown with Arven. He leads with a Greedent, and this squirrely little tub of lard is a nightmare. It knows Body Slam, which has a 30% chance to paralyze me. And boy did it, because time after time, my runs were ended by this monster. To try and avoid paralysis, I had to change my strategy. Now, I spend the first 3 turns using Charm, nerfing Greedent into the mud. The run dies if I'm paralyzed on those turns, but if not, now I set up Substitute as this blocks secondary effects, so I can't be paralyzed anymore. Now I can Hone Claws to +4 attack, before finally slaying that chunky demon with a Petal Blizzard. Although, I was still being crushed by Arven's other Pokemon because my cat is just too slow. So, I went and bought a Jollymint from Montenevera, slapped it in Garfield's face, and now I've got a plus speed nature. Once again, I was back in Greedent's RNG hellhole, but once some luck finally went my way, we could execute the same setup. With a powerful combo of Petal Blizzard, Grass Terror, and Overgrow, we were able to sweep through Arven's team one after another. Arven, you're not looking too good there, buddy. That was our first fight of the endgame, and I really struggled. Little did I know, it was only going to get worse from here. Like Clive. This guy's been alive for 70 years, and I'm convinced he spent that entire time building a team to ruin my day. Let me tell you why he's a problem. He has a full team of diverse Pokemon, and I mean, look at how stacked this roster is. It's got priority moves, Aurora Veil, and even Effect Spore just to tilt me that much more. And we only have a 10 level advantage. But the biggest problem is Oranguru. This is Clive's lead, and it's so hard to set up on because it uses Foul Play. This move uses the opponent's attack stat, which means not only is it pointless to nerf Oranguru's attack, but also by buffing my own attack, I'm also increasing the power of his Foul Play. This is an insane dilemma. I got destroyed by this ape. It just danced all over Sprigatito's grave while I tried to figure out any possible way of dealing with it. Very quickly, I realized I was gonna have to get extremely cheesy. First, I changed my Terra type to Dark so I can survive Foul Play better since now I'll resist it. Then, I teach Garfield Mud Slap, and this move was going to be our cheesy ticket to victory. This time, I immediately Terrastalize and just spam Mud Slap until Oranguru is at -6 accuracy. Now it struggles to land any attacks, so it's kinda safe to set up a substitute and begin boosting my attack. Once I'm at +6, it's time to unleash my demonic kitten with a barrage of bites. This lets me gradually sweep through the rest of Clive's team. Before long, he was down to only his Skeledirge. It does tank a hit, however, I still have my substitute up, so I know I'll survive one shot and... Wait, what? Today I learned that Torch Song hits through Substitute. After losing several more attempts to my awful luck, as well as one where Clive just didn't spawn into the map, we finally had some luck. My new strategy uses Acrobatics instead of Bite, and this extra power makes all the difference as this time we sweep through Clive's team much smoother. My character looks exactly how I felt after being slapped around by Clive for hours. We then confront the Team Star Super Boss, the big boss, Cassiopeia. They were both me all along. I told you I was gonna do it. Team Star has been a nightmare in this run, but their boss is straight trash. Her Umbreon is free real estate to set up on, so we can max our attack before sweeping through her assorted flavors of dog one after another. Pathetic. I think I've finally gotten over my fear of Team Star. Oh god, it's Mella! Ah, run! This brings us to the Elite Four, one of the toughest challenges for my cat to overcome. We have to take on all 4 members back to back, and to make things worse, 3 of them specialize in types that resist grass. And to make things even worse, we can't change our Terra type between battles. This was going to be rough. Regardless, armed with only a cute kitten and a dream, I stepped up to the Elite Four. First up is Rika, but she's actually really free. Her ground types all get swept up by Petal Blizzard, no problem. But that's where the good times end, because next I have to take on the devil, Poppy. This child of Satan uses steel types, which is awful for me. Steel resists literally every move that Sprigatito can learn. Her Pokemon also have huge physical bulk, and I'm a physical attacker. To make things worse, her Copperajah knows Heavy Slam. Yeah, I wonder who's heavier, a giant elephant made of copper, or a kitten the size of my shoe that's made out of flowers. I was annihilated by Poppy, and I knew I needed a different approach. So on this attempt, I changed my Terra type to Electric, got a few extra levels, before returning to the Pokemon League. After slapping Rika around with some flower power, we were once again confronted by Poppy. My plan was to once again whip out the cheese. I spammed Charm to nerf Copperajah's attack, before then using Mud Slap to lower its accuracy. But this strategy needs a lot of luck, and I just kept on failing over and over. After way longer than I'd like to admit, I finally had the luck go my way. With Copperajah at -6 attack and accuracy, I can then boost my own attack to +6 with Hone Claws. From here, Sprigatito terastallizes and gets an adorable little light bulb hat. Now we use a new move, Terra Blast. This basically changes to the type of your Terra and can be a physical or special attack depending on which of your stats is higher. With my supercharged cat, an onslaught of electric Terra Blasts were enough to finally wipe through Poppy's steel types one after another. This felt so satisfying. Don't you dare give me that face. I know you're pure evil. Not only is Larry the most relatable Elite Four member, but in this run, he's also the most concerning. His flying types not only resist grass, but they're also super effective against grass. And this is the main reason why I chose an electric Terra type, because after just 2 Hone Claws, Sprigatito can Terra Blast its way through Larry's whole team with an onslaught of electricity, basically turning our worst Elite Four member into the easiest. However, there's a downside to that. Oh hey, it's the art teacher who smells like Herba Mystica. Oh hey dude, I just finished staring at my hands, wondering how they got there. We needed an electric Terra type to deal with Poppy and Larry, but last is Hassel, and his powerful dragons resist both our natural type and our Terra type. I tried so many strategies, and let me tell you, I got destroyed, slapped, teabagged, and downright embarrassed by this old man. His powerful dragons have huge coverage, and we had a cat with a light bulb hat. Yep, seems fair to me. Anyway, while Garfield was getting crushed over and over, I slowly tweaked my approach. Hassel's lead is a Noivern who knows Air Slash. This is super effective against Sprigatito, but this works in my favor, because this baits Noivern into Air Slash as I Terra into an electric type, basically turning it from a weakness into a resistance. This lets me safely land a Trailblaze. The small damage isn't important, but the speed boost is. Then, by cycling Protect and Hone Claws, I can survive just long enough to get +2 attack and accuracy. This is vital. Not only do I need the attack boost, but since Play Rough has a 10% chance to miss, the accuracy boost is also important. From here, I can outspeed Hassel's whole team and sweep them with a deadly barrage of Play Roughs from my kitten. With that, Garfield had crushed the Paldean Elite Four all on its own. But the champion still remained, and Geeta is an absolute menace. Her Espathra straight up destroyed me in only 2 turns. This was tough. However, at this point, I learned that after making it to the champion once, we don't have to go back through the Elite Four to rematch Geeta. This is so important as it means that we can change our Terra type. So, after turning Sprigatito into a steel cat, I returned to Geeta with a new plan. And while I did make some progress, I spent hours getting crushed over and over again. But after returning with our cat beefed up a few levels higher, this time things went much smoother. Now, Espathra is a problem. Its Lumina Crash move harshly lowers my special defense, and its competitive ability means that if I boost my stats, it also gets a boost. These 2 factors make it really hard to set up on. So, to get around this, I have Sprigatito hold the Clear Amulet, which prevents Lumina Crash's stat drops. I immediately terastallize, as Steel lets me resist all of Espathra's attacks before spamming Mud Slap to lower its accuracy. Once that's done, I can boost my own stats. However, if I use Hone Claws, Espathra will also get the accuracy boost, undoing the hard work of all those Mud Slaps. But I have a plan. By using Worry Seed, we replace Espathra's ability with Insomnia. This means I can safely boost my stats with Hone Claws without sharing with the oversized Psychic Chicken. From here, our metallic Garfield is unleashed, crushing Geeta's Pokemon with a string of steely Terra Blasts. With that, one little cat had somehow become the Paldean champion. We still had 2 big boss fights left though. First up is Nemona, who calls us her true rival, someone who can stand up to her full capabilities. Really? You went and picked a rival who only has 1 cat? Fortunately, the fight against Nemona is actually really simple. By using a Jolly Mint, we outspeed her Lycanroc and can charm it to -6 attack. Then we're clear to set up with Hone Claws before running a train on her team one after another. It was an absolute slaughter. Nimona laughs hysterically, and I can only assume that she lost her sanity after getting swept by a single house cat. Garfield had become a menace, an all-powerful demon. No one could stop us. Or could they? There was one final boss. The biggest challenge of Pokemon Violet remained. And so, in search of glory, Garfield and I headed into the Paldean Crater. Oh, it's you again. The crater has some weird stuff going on. Like, whoa, what's happening over there? Anyway, after making it to the bottom of the crater, we slap Arven's Mabastiff straight back to the infirmary with a Petal Blizzard. After that, we come face to face with AI Turo. In the present day, no Pokemon exists that could possibly face up to my powerful Sprigatito. So, Turo had to go into the future just to try and find something that could stop us. Turo leads with the hardest of hard counters to Sprigatito. Oh dear God. Iron Moth. A poison and fire type. Basically, our worst nightmare. I was crushed in just a single shot. I tried again and again, but the result was the exact same. This was our toughest challenge yet. On top of Iron Moth, Turo has a stacked roster of Pokemon that are basically pseudo-legends. And we had our kitty cat. I needed a plan to overcome this demon. After activating all of my big brain energies, I returned to the bottom of the crater with my level 95 cat. On turn 1, I immediately Hone Claws for the boost in attack and accuracy. Iron Moth hits a huge sludge wave, and I live on only 1 HP thanks to my Focus Sash. We were on the brink of death, while Turo still had 6 powerful, healthy Pokemon. I only had 1 HP, but we were still kicking. The attack boost and the fact that I'm not holding an item anymore means that 1 Acrobatics can crush Iron Moth. The incoming Iron Jugulis falls to a Play Rough, followed by Iron Bundle, who is decimated by a Petal Blizzard. The big Mecha Godzilla is next, but it suffers the same fate at the hands of my Flower Power. However, Iron Hands is a problem. It's too bulky to take down in one shot, and it knows Fake Out, a priority move that will absolutely kill Sprigatito. This is a really tough spot and would normally be a run killer, but I have a plan. By terastallizing into a ghost type, not only does Fake Out fail, but it also gives us the opening that we need to land 2 Play Roughs without Sprigatito taking any damage. Last is Iron Valiant, but it takes only 1 Acrobatics to slay the Gallade Voir. With that win over Turo, one single Sprigatito had conquered all of Pokemon Violet without using any items in battle and without even going to level 100. Jump into this video next for more Pokemon content. Leave a like for all the suffering I went through in this challenge, and comment below what challenge you'd like to see next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.